In class, we move on further. Last time we covered Buddhism, then Jainism, and we also, when we were reading, kept reading the contrast and similarities which we had in these two religions. We came to know the life of Buddha, the life of Mahavira, their teachings, their preaching. Then we talked of the spread of Buddhism and Jainism, went into the details of everything. Both these religions became popular and were very common among the masses because of the language used by them was
And mom,
basically Pali and Prakrit. Yes, child. Yes, child. So now we come on to the new heading, the Sangha. Okay. Now before we move on to Sangha, when you will do any question on Jainism, see that you will draw this emblem of Jainism there. Okay. I'll tell you when we'll be on the question, I'll tell you which particular question. But this symbol you have to draw for Jainism. Now we come on to the next heading, the Sangha. Sangha was established by Gautam Buddha in the 5th century BC. So the word Sangha, Sangha kya hai? It's an organization. That means people came in groups and following a particular idea, and that was called Sangha. Now it was Gautam Buddha who first initiated and followed this. In the 5th century BC, the term Sangha means assembly of community. That means the people of the same mind, same ideas clubbed in together and lived together. It is used to refer to Buddhist or Jain groups. So basically, the term came from Buddha, but it was also used by Jainism when they moved any community were
तो ऐसे
active
में
in
बहुत सावधानी से वाहन
anything
चलाइए,
which
जल्दबाजी
was
मत करिए,
like
हो सकती है और भी
it was founded to spread the message of Buddha far and wide. Now, this Sangha or the group was formed basically to spread the message of Buddhism, whatever Buddha had taught, to spread it far and wide. They followed this. In this, they made a group, and the people, their major work was, major duty was to spread the word of Buddhism. Even Shudras could join the Sangha. Both Buddha and Mahavira realized that only those who left their home could gain true knowledge. So an arrangement was made for them to stay together in the Sangha. Now, even the Shudras, the low caste people, could join Sangha. And both Buddhism and Mahavira, they realized that once they left their homes, now true knowledge could only be attained once they left all the worldly pleasures. So they have to live and assemble somewhere. The people who have already left their home, they needed a place under under which they can rest, and for that they needed a sangha or an organization. The rules for the Buddhist sangha were written in a book called the Vinay Patika. Please underline this, Vinay Pitaka. This was the book written by the Buddhist Sangha, and I mean the rules were written here in Vinaya Pitaka. All men could join the Sangha. Children who wanted to join the Sangha had to seek permission of their parents. A woman had to take her husband's permission. Only emancipated or free slaves or dasas could join the Sangha. Now they said there were certain rules. Whoever became a monk or a preacher or follower of Buddha, They could join easily, anybody from any caste. But there were certain rules. Supposing a child wants to join, so they needed the permission of the parents. Supposing a woman wanted to join Sangha or that community to follow Buddhism or Jainism, they had to take permission from their husband. Now, any slave who needed to join had to be free from the slavery, had to be not, I mean, the slave shouldn't be working under somebody. He should take prior permission from the person who was using him as a slave. So that means this shows us that there were slaves also working under. Both men and women who joined Sangha led simple lives. Now, that was a very common factor. They lived simple and easy life. Easy in a sense, that means pleasure, say, deprived life. They did not go for any worldly pleasures. They meditated for most of the time. They went to cities and villages at fixed hours to beg for food. They taught others and helped one another. Those who joined the Sangha included Brahmins, Kshatriyas, merchants, and slaves. So now they are telling you that at a fixed time these monks used to visit the villages and towns and beg for food. That means everything they had was only that much which was required. Now, food, asking for food from house to house, they only collected that much of food which could fill up their, tummy for that particular time. So that collection was just adequate enough for their survival. They never hoarded anything, they never possessed anything. Whatever they got after serving, they just used that. And then they are telling you in the end that who all could be the members of the Sangha. So it included every walk of people. The Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the merchants, and even the slaves could join the Sangha. Now we come on to the place where they lived, and those places were called viharas or monasteries. I'm thoroughly disappointed of mic every time. Why is the mic opened so often? If you're not interested, I'll stop the lecture right now. Please do not open the mic. Stops my working properly. Okay. Now viharas. The Buddha established many monasteries. These monasteries were called viharas. A monastery is an English word. So in those times, the places where the monks lived were known as viharas. Yeah, they lived in a group called Sangha. But where did they live? They live in viharas. Now, Buddhist monks lived in these monasteries. These monasteries were also the centers of education. At time, as time passed, many supporters of the monks felt the need for more permanent shelters. These were known as viharas. These viharas were made of wood and then of brick. Some were situated even in caves that were dug out in hills in western India. So basically, the monasteries were the places of shelter where these monks lived. So they were known as viharas. And you can see the Buddhist vihara, a picture of it. Now these were the shelters, and since they needed somewhere to live, so it was the viharas where they lived, and they were basically made of wood and bricks. At times, they also lived in caves, which were a sheltered area, and worked accordingly. Now, did you know? Let's move on to the other heading. Did you know? Panini, the grammarian, please underline things about him. He prepared a grammar in Sanskrit. In this period, he arranged the vowels and consonants in a special order and formed formulae. He then wrote down the rules of grammar based on these formulae, around 3,000 of them. So basically, Panini, he was a grammarian. He was the one who worked on languages, a language basically, and the proper and prim use of it, the grammatically correct words, the rules for using those words were all written in Sanskrit by him. And there was a book written, this whole book was there, which had various formulas for the rules to be followed, and there were 3,000 of them. We stop here for today. Now, why I have stopped is because I just want to know. I hope you are understanding and you're going through. It was after a pretty long holidays, Diwali holidays, that we have uh, taken up this class. So I would not burden you up with loads of work, but definitely I would like you all to reread this chapter and go through the explanation again so that this chapter turns out easy and convenient for you. And today in the evening, I will be sending you the answers. The last heading is left, and that is Upanishad. That we'll take up in the next class. So maybe I'll take up Upanishads and finish it off and send you the explanation, or I'll see we'll take up in the next class. Okay?
Okay,
Any
ma'am. Bye,
question,
ma'am.
any doubt?
Okay, ma'am.
Oh,
Okay, ma'am. No, ma'am.
no, no, no.
No,
You're not
ma'am.
you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. I'm just asking, this is your problem solving round. Do you have any doubts, any problems?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
So I just want to tell you something. Now, I had been asking you to give your work in PDF for corrections. Now, while I was correcting, there came one in glossary. There's a word that just a second. Let me look for it. Narmada Bachao Andolan. Did you see that word when you were doing that? ELM.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Yes, ma'am.
listen
Yes,
very
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
got it. Got it. Listen very carefully. Now, Narmada Bachao Andolan. Since Andolan could not fit in one line, they have used the second line. It is one word, Narmada Bachao Andolan. Some of you, what you have done is you have written Narmada Bachao and you have written the explanation as a first line. Then you have written Andolan and then you have written the second line. No, children, it is one word, Narmada Bachao Andolan, and then the term is explained to you as a movement launched under Medha Patekar to stop the construction of the dam on river Narmada, which threatens to drown and destroy hundreds of villages. So those of you who have not done it like this, please do that. Okay?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, child.
Ma'am, I am 10 Mazumdar.
Yes, done it.
Ma'am, I have sent you the ma'am PDF.
Okay, I have not checked it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now this is again, I'm sorry for this. Now, those who have sent me and I have not checked, please leave a message either in your personal or on the group. I will, since I have not saved many of the numbers, so at times after clicking your message, and since I'm away from my work, so I forget at times to give you remarks. So please, and then I'm not able to find you again. So do one thing, leave a message if I have not checked anyone's work. Okay?
Ma'am, in
And
personal
uh,
number.
anywhere, even in the group, if you send me, ki, ma'am, my work is not checked, I click on your message and I reach your personal number. Don't worry about that. So either you leave a message in the group or you message me personally. In any case, I'll reach you and I'll check the work. Maybe it has slipped. Okay? And other than that, is the history chapter checked, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
And the
Yes, ma'am.
glossary?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
And the geography chapter, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Geography chapter is also checked. Okay. So please, those who are sitting back and those who are not giving the work, make sure that you send me the PDF. Now, I cannot do anything else. If you do not send me, it is totally your personal loss because I cannot follow any, tactic to make you give the work. Yeah. So be sincere and keep sending me your work on the days when I ask you for. Okay, so Diwali is over now. Pull up your socks, start your work with zeal and enthusiasm, and finish off if you have not done. Okay? Today evening or maybe tomorrow morning, I will be sending you the question answers. Okay? Chalo, take care.
Okay, ma'am.